This is Keeping It Real, and this is real as it gets. And this is my co-host Tanaya. And today's topic is going to be about discipline and the lack thereof. Well, the reason why I wanted to bring up discipline was because of a few incidents we had in school within, I think, the last week or two. And I was really bothered by a few of the things that I've noticed, even not just in school, but also out in the public. Um, One of the things that really bothers me is when I'm in public, no matter where I am, I see certain people with their kids on these dog leashes or whatever you want to call them. Um, that is very funny to me, and that's degrading also to the kids because you have a child walking around. If they have Fido at home on a leash and then in public they have to be put on a leash, that's not cool. Back in my day, and with the younger generation that you'll see come, before you in a few minutes, my family know that when you leave the home, you know how to act, not to cut up in the store, not to, fall out and have all these temper tantrums. It's just not heard of. Um, Tanaya, why are you looking like that? So anyway, okay. So anyway, um, there was an incident last week where a student got into trouble, and his parent came to school, and so we asked her, what do you do at home? You know, basically asking how is he disciplined, and she flat out said that she was scared of him, and I'm like, you're the parent. How can you be scared of your own child? And she honestly started crying. She said, I don't know what else to do. I give him everything he wants. He doesn't have to ask for anything. I give him extra money, and I still don't understand why he cuts up the way he does. And I said, well, how are you gonna, handle it? She said, well, I don't know what to do. He also hits me, and I'm like, okay, whoa. Do you call the police on him? Because if you don't, then it's just gonna get worse and worse and worse. And she fails to realize that he thinks he can do the same thing at school that he can do at home, and we try to inform her, it's not going to work. We'll call the police on him. If you hit me, that's it. You know. But anyway, um, the other thing is I wanted to talk about today was the lack of, you know, parents showing up for their kids' activities at school. Um, any parental involvement seems to be lax, especially in the African American community. Um, Orientation for school, hardly any of, you know, African Americans, or I'm going to say people of color, any of them they don't bring their kids to orientation anymore like they used to. And I'm like, well, okay, what's up with that? Then the other thing is that if their child plays a sport, then they'll show up. If their child is academically inclined and very smart and say had, you know, a spelling bee or something like that, they won't show up. And I'm like, okay, what's the difference? I think you should push your child more into the academics instead of always focusing on trying to make that child a football player or a basketball player. And they may not even be that good, or they might be that good and their grades aren't. So my thing is, you need to be more involved in your children's activities, period. That goes for anybody, but it's very, very sad, especially in the African American community, that hardly anyone, and we have open house, and none of the black kids' parents showed up. And I'm like, okay, if you have a classroom of 30 kids and say 20 of them are black, where are the parents? They don't want to know how their kids are doing. They don't return report cards signed. They don't sign off in the agendas. I'm like, how do you know what your child is doing? Your child can say he's going to school and he's really not going to school. Your child can say he had homework and you just never check the agenda. I also have a student, for example, who at 2 o'clock in the morning is outside riding his motorcycle. Then he comes in class and sleeps all day. That's not fair to him because he has no discipline at home, and it's not fair to us because we have to sit there and try to help him, get his education. So I have Tanaya, and I'm gonna have her tell you what happens when she gets into trouble. So Tanaya, when last week when you were new to school, this is your first time going to school, and you're in kindergarten, um, you just thought that you can have an attitude, and when the teacher asks you to do something, you hit the teacher, and then you also spit on her. Now, my first question is, did you know that you weren't supposed to spit on your teacher?
Yeah.
So you knew that. So why did you do it? You don't know? You just wanted to do it. So what happened to you when your parents found out that you spit on the teacher and then you tried to hit the teacher? Oh, okay, so your parents, when you got home, they looked in your agenda and they noticed that you were bad that day. So once they found out you were bad, what happened? You got a spanking. So do you think you deserve that spanking?
Yes.
Well, her mother just said she got her ass whooped. So she did. She got a whooping. That's what I'm keeping it real. She got a whooping, and she knows now not to spit on the teacher or try to hit her. Now I'm gonna have Juwan, aka King, to come up here and tell you what happens when he gets into trouble, and I'm also gonna have Teron, aka Papa Smurf, also tell you what happens when they get into trouble.
What happened?
All right, this is
Boy Rude, aka Papa Smurf, you know what I'm saying? Had to be on the show, keeping it real. This my bro Juwan, aka King.
all right. Now I got a question for y'all. So I want the pub the another blooper. I want the public to know what happens when you guys get into trouble. So Jawan, or AKA King, man, what happens when you get in trouble?
But when it's really bad, I usually get whoopings. But if it's not nothing real serious, I just usually get in trouble. I get my cell phone ticket.
So he just gets in trouble. If it's something very serious, like he stated before, he will get a whooping, and also if it's something light, he'll probably just get on punishment or get his cell phone taken away. All right, Rudy, let America know what happens to you when you get in trouble.
Well, I ain't even gonna lie. When I was little, I used to get whoopings, but now I done got too old. Now my mom just give me black eyes.
He don't. He doesn't get black eyes, but no, you do not. Don't have DCF coming up here thinking you get abuse or nothing like that. But he knows he gets into trouble also. I mean, this day and age, that's what you need. You need discipline, and that's how you get respect also. My generation, there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There was no such thing as leashes walking around, or anything like that. And this generation here, you have to be on them, 100%. Because if you don't, they're just gonna continue to have issues like in school, like killings and shootings and simple things like not doing their homework or running over the teachers or hitting their parents, and that's not, heard of. So this is my family. This is keeping it real. If you have any questions or comments about today's topic, um, email them to questions, the number 4, real at yahoo.com, and that's questions for real at yahoo.com. All right.
And you could call me for all the ladies. You can call me at 863
Don't get it.
934
Stop. Okay. Anyway, we're we're out. All right, tonight.
Deuces.
Peace.
Keep